I now declare the May 2017 commencement of the State University of New York Polytechnic Institute to be in session.
Good morning. Please be seated. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce a champion of New York State and a powerful advocate of the type of top-tier hands-on education that institutions like SUNY Poly provide to students. Of course, you might not find his incredible support of education that surprising if you know that he scored a perfect 1600 on his SATs. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, he graduated from Harvard Law School and decided to pursue a career in politics. He was elected to the New York State Assembly at the age of 23, the youngest person to hold that position since Teddy Roosevelt. He quickly became a household name through his work in the House of Representatives, beginning in 1981, followed by his U.S. elected senator from New York State, beginning in 1998, and he currently serves as Senate Democratic leader. Senator Schumer makes it his mission to visit all 62 of New York State's counties every year, and we are honored that he's able to join us here today. Please welcome Senator Schumer.
Thank you, Mr. President. And it's great to be back here at SUNY Polytechnic. My honor to address the members of the podium, the families and friends, but most of all, you, the class of 2017, congratulations. You're graduating from a great school. And first, I'd like to announce my class gift. You know, it's hard to pay for college and for graduate school. If you're poor, the federal government helps you out, but what about the middle class? So, I wrote a law, it's now permanently on the books a few years back, that says you or your parents, whoever paid for college and graduate school, can take as a full tax credit $2,500 off your federal taxes for every year of college and graduate school, provided, in Washington there's always a provided your family income is below $200,000 a year. So, for those of you who come from families who make below $200,000, make sure you or mom or dad takes that tax credit. Last year, about a third of all people forgot because it's new. If you happen to forget, you can actually file a simple one-page form with the IRS and get up to $7,500 back in the mail. So that's not bad as a class gift. Now, what happens if you come from a family that makes above $200,000 a year? God bless you. I'd like to say something to the parents. I know how you feel sitting there. It was just a few years ago, my wife Iris and I sat where you did and watched our daughter Jessica come up on the stage and get that diploma. It was one of the greatest days of our life. And if you're like us, you think back to the tough times. Not easy raising kids. We remembered when Jessica was just 6 months old. She had 106.5 fever. We rushed her to the hospital, didn't think she'd make it. Praise God, she did. Then we remembered on the first day we brought her to the kindergarten bus. She got on the bus. As the bus pulled away, she ran to the back of the bus, waved out the back window, tears streaming down her little cheeks. But when Iris went to meet her at the bus at 2 o'clock, she bounded off the bus happy as could be. She said, "Mommy, I came back." When we talked to her that evening, we realized what was going on in her little head. She thought that was it. New family, new parents, new neighborhood, that she'd never come back. Then we remembered Jessie as a teenager, when she didn't say much to us. And when she did, we didn't understand a word she said. And then, moms, dads, you see your sons and daughters come up on the platform, get that diploma, and become an adult before your very eyes. Let's have a round of applause for the moms and dads. And then one more word of thanks. As we're having a great time here this morning, there are many young men and women your age, some from this area, who are in our armed forces in dangerous places like Iraq and Afghanistan, risking their lives for our freedom. Let's have a round of applause for them as well. Now, to this great class of 2017, you know, you're graduating when it's a great time to be young and educated in America, but it's also a time of tremendous change across the country and across the world. It's no longer the case you graduate with a degree from a university and you work at the same job for 40 years. That might even have been true for many of the parents here. It's not the way it used to be. And then there's all this social media and all these new ideas and so much information, almost too much information, at our fingertips, and it's hard to tell what's fact from fiction. And in the world, look what's going on. Terrorism, something we had never thought about generation ago, is rampant. So it's changing times. Now, your generation is better equipped than any to deal with all the obstacles that all these changes present and seize the opportunities they afford to pursue your passion and accomplish big things. But right now, sitting in your seats, many of you may not know what's going to come next. What's the next thing happening? So you're almost like jumping into an abyss with all the changes in the world. And the key is not to fear the unknown, but to embrace it, relish in it, soak up the possibilities it has to offer. It may be a cliche, but it's one of those true cliches. And how do I know? I went through some of these times myself. I went to a working class high school in southern Brooklyn, and I was lucky enough to get into Harvard. Now, my father was an exterminator. He didn't go to college, and Harvard was filled with rich kids. So I was really afraid. How was I going to make it at this place? And I thought the one way I'd make it, I was a decent basketball player, although we weren't that great. Our team at Madison's motto, our basketball team's motto was, "We may be small, but we're slow." But I figured my ticket at this place was to get on the freshman basketball team. I had asked one guy from my high school, Red O'Brien, who had gone there years before, he said, you'll try out for the team, they're terrible, so you'll make it, and those will be your friends, those will be the kids you hang out with. So it's the third day of school, tryouts, and we're wearing these little numbers. The coach calls me up. "Number 27, yes, sir. You're Schumer, yes, sir. Oh, you went to Madison, yes, sir. How's Coach so-and-so? He's fine, sir." Then he looks at me quizzically. "You played forward," he said. I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "How tall are you?" I said, "I'm 6'1", sir." He said, "We don't have too many 6'1" forwards here. Can you dribble?" I said, "That's not my strong suit, sir." And without watching me touch a basketball, he sent me home. Well, I was distraught. I wrote my mom a note saying, "I told you I should have stayed home. I'm coming home on Monday. I'm a flop here." And that night, as fate, maybe God's hand would have it, someone knocked on my door, and he said, "How would you like to join the Harvard Young Democrats?" Well, I didn't have a political bone in my body. My father was a Republican, my mother was a Democrat, but he said we were working for a man named Eugene McCarthy up in the New Hampshire primary. Would I want to participate? I said, okay. I was crestfallen. The next morning, I got on a bus with a whole bunch of kids from the Boston area. We knocked on doors, wrote up leaflets. I had a great time. and I was bitten by the political bug, and it stayed with me. So maybe it was luck, maybe fate, maybe it's God's hand, but at that moment of intense anxiety where I didn't know what was going to happen, I took a little leap, said okay, and it enriched my life forever. Life is full of those moments. You need to keep your eyes open for them. I had another one a little later. I was sitting at college graduation, as you are today, and I learned that I had won a scholarship to travel all around the world, all expenses paid, for a whole year. For me, a kid who had never been out of the country before, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. But at the same time, graduates, and for the first time, I had met a girl, and I fell in love. Ah. So I had to decide, graduates, what to do. Go around the world for a whole year on the all-expense-paid scholarship, or stay home with the girl, my first true love. Class of 2017, what would you have done? Well, I stayed home with the girl. Don't clap yet, you romantics. The story continues. That summer, she went on a brief vacation, and I went to the airport to meet her on her return. The minute she got off the plane, I saw by the look on her face something was the matter. She dumped me by Labor Day. There I was, no scholarship, no trip around the world, no girl. I said to myself, what a loser you are. You're never going to make anything of yourself. And for several months I just stayed at home and moped around in my house. But somehow I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and went to law school, practiced for a little bit at a big fancy law firm, and I hated it. And I knew my love was politics. So at the graduation from law school, I told Mom and Dad that I was not going to join the fancy law firm like we had planned. My parents were disappointed, shocked. My mother particularly disappointed. You see, I came from a working-class family. The law firm was paying $400 a week. That was more money in those days than my family had ever seen. But my love was politics. So that fall, at the age of 23, against very long odds, I ran for the New York State Assembly, and I had three opponents. There was the party machine candidate, there was a neighborhood activist, and then there was my mother, who was telling all her friends not to vote for me. So as she said, I'd get this dumb idea of being a politician out of my big, thick head. Well, graduates, a few years earlier, I sure didn't get that girl, but that November, I pursued my dream and won the election. So, to the graduates, on this great day of your achievement, my advice, despite the difficulties in the world we see, take the risk. Don't let fear of failure deter you. The most painful thing to think about is, if I had only done it, if I had only done that. You're about to cast off into the unknown, and it can be scary. But you've gotten a great education at SUNY Polytech. You have great families that are going to be behind you through thick and thin, and you're just terrific people. So, have the courage to put your doubts aside, take a chance. And it is my hope, it is my prayer, and indeed it is my confidence that if you do, you will find true success and joy. To the graduates of 2017, congratulations. Good luck. Godspeed. You are the greatest.
Thank you, Senator. Yeah, God bless you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning and welcome. I'm Mary Beth Lyons, Vice President for Student Affairs at SUNY Poly. Please stand for our national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by Lauren Knowles of Salisbury Mills, New York, a senior majoring in civil engineering technology.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The invocation will be given by our Newman chaplain, the Reverend Paul Drobin.
Thank you, Vice President Mary Beth. Let us pray. Dear God, Creator, Sustainer, abiding presence in our lives, we beseech your watchful and caring presence and blessings on all of us who are gathered for our 43rd annual SUNY Polytech Institute Commencement. May you especially bless all of our graduates, fill them with joy and gratitude, love and hope. May you bless their families, their parents, their friends. We thank you for the bonds of love and the transmission of support. And may your blessing be on all of us who are members of the SUNY Polytech community family. We thank you for learning, for discovery, for perseverance, and yes, for inspiration. We ask you, dear God, to be with us in a special way on this commencement, so it may be a celebration of gratitude, a blessing of achievement, an accomplishment, direction, and determination. We ask you of this who are one God, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Please be seated. I ask that members of the platform party stand and remain standing as they are introduced. Please hold your applause until they are all recognized. Dr. Carly Phipps, Mace Bearer. Mr. Richard Fuller, Vice President for Enrollment Management. Ms. Liz Roden, SUNY Poly alumna, class of 1978. Mr. Elias Zena, Student Representative to the College Council. Ms. Samantha Stewart, Student Government President. Mr. David Abbott, Student Government Secretary. Mr. Daniel White, Director of Academic Advisement. Dr. Michael Manning, Associate Provost. Dr. Shadi Shedapur Sandvik, Dean of Graduate Studies. Dr. Ronald Sarner, Chair of the Faculty Assembly. Dr. Martin Habor, Co-Chair of Governance Council. Dr. Jim Casterkane, Co-Chair of Governance Council. Dr. Andrew Russell, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Robert Edgell, Dean of the College of Business Management. Dr. Andrew Wolf, Dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Kathleen Rourke, Dean of the College of Health Sciences. Ms. Megan Getman, Registrar. Reverend Paul Drobin, Newman Chaplain. Dr. Donald Hanson, Chair of the College Council. Dr. William Durgan, Provost. Dr. Bhagat Samakia, President. Dr. Nancy Zimpher, SUNY Chancellor and 2017 Commencement Speaker. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of presenting to you Dr. Bhagat Samakia, President of SUNY Polytechnic Institute.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Well, it's a real honor to be here as your interim president and addressing you. I did not expect that I would be speaking to you right after the senator, and it's hard to top that story. It is a pleasure, though. I really love being here, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our guests and to SUNY Chancellor Nancy Zimpher, who's our keynote speaker today. I'd also like to thank Lynn Rosen, who will be sharing some remarks on behalf of the Alumni Association at a later time. My name is Bhagat Samakia. I've been interim president here since December, and since that time, our school has seen some significant changes and continues to see changes. Many of you are graduating from a school with a name that's different from the name that it had when you started. This kind of change can be tough. New names, new leadership, and new routines, all of these can be stressful, but they can also be exciting. Here in Utica, this year, we are going to have our largest enrollment ever. We're on track to exceed 400 students. And that's wonderful news. This is a time of huge change, not just at Poly, but really across the nation and globally. If you look at global politics, everything is changing. So whether you are getting a degree and going into a career of engineering, healthcare, liberal arts, education, this is a time where you have to deal with change. So I thought I might take a few minutes today to tell you about some of the changes I've seen during my life and my career and share what I learned with you. You don't have to worry. I've attended many commencements, and I know that the best speeches have one thing in common. They are brief. So I won't go back to the very beginning, but I'll tell you what I thought and how I ended up in the United States. My first visit to the United States was when I was a teenager, and I had come for a summer visit to my sister, who at the time lived in Memphis, Tennessee. And what struck me that summer was the most striking thing. Many things struck me, but the most striking thing to me was how open American society was. I was really Amazed, I felt that I encountered no prejudice. I saw a kind of radical tolerance of difference. I felt that American society was inclusive and allowed everyone to achieve their potential, no matter what their social status, no matter what their country of origin, and no matter what their name. And let's face it, my name is impossible to pronounce for most people. So this was unlike anything I had experienced back in Egypt, where I grew up, and nothing I had experienced throughout my travels in the Middle East and in Europe, which I had done quite extensively. So there was something unique in America, something that was really wonderful. So I went back home and felt that I really wanted to come back to the States and stay. And my path to do that was to come back as a graduate student, as a PhD student with a scholarship, which meant I had to change my life. I was an okay student, and now I needed to be in the top 2 or 3%. So the rest of my time was spent studying, working hard, and preparing myself. I did nothing else. So this was a fundamental change in my life. And having done that, I was able to qualify and come back to the States. Some of you already know this kind of determination, the type that goes into your soul and changes the way you think about everything and accelerates your performance and raises you to the next level. And some of you will encounter that when you go to work. So my first suggestion for you today is to find that passion. Find something that you love and that you feel really strongly about, and do it. This will enable you to perform at a different level, a higher level than you ever thought yourself capable of. Now I'll fast forward a few years. I made it back to the States. I joined a graduate school in engineering, and like you, I attended at the SUNY campus. I was very lucky to get into the university at Buffalo. And then I did a postdoctoral stint at the University of Pennsylvania. And during that time, I dreamed about what my career would be like. I knew I wanted to work in industry for a while, so I read books about the best managed companies in America, and IBM was on top of the list in every book. It was the best managed company in the world. So I decided I'm going to work for IBM, and I applied for a job there. And then something happened to me that some of you may have experienced or are likely to experience. I didn't get a job. I didn't even get invited for an interview. I got no encouragement. But you know what? I really wanted to work for IBM. I felt that I wanted to do something meaningful that can change the world. And I felt that they had the platform that would allow me to do that, something that mattered. So I applied again. And they rejected me again. In the end, I applied 11 times before I got a job in IBM. 11 times. So my second piece of advice for you is to be persistent and develop thick skin and insist on doing what you want to do. Don't let a no deter you. As Steve Jobs once said, you may agree with Steve or disagree with many of the things that he has said, but on this one, I think he gives really good advice. So Steve Jobs said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you really believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep searching. Don't settle. And I really believe in that. I believe that you should find something you care about and do it. Otherwise, you will never succeed. The years ahead are going to be full of challenges for you. You may be told no at times, over and over again. You will sometimes fail despite your best efforts. You may be rejected for jobs and for promotions, but don't let that deter you. When that happens, you need to have an inner reserve of self-confidence, a determination. You have to have the courage to ask again or to make a new plan. Your behavior Your behavior during periods of crisis will shape your life a lot more than your behavior during periods when everything is going well. That's the nature of life. So after all these decades, the most enticing career path from when I had started may be with a startup company or a small company and not necessarily with an industry leader. And that's fine. Or you may start your own company, and that's even better. When I finally made it to IBM, I was really lucky to find a manager. I worked for a manager who was not just a boss, he was a real leader. He mentored and led really greatly. He taught me many things, including that I should surround myself and work with people that exude positive energy, people who want to do things, not people who want to complain about things. When something went wrong, he accepted responsibility. And when things went right, he gave credit to his team. I also learned from him that it is better to accept responsibility for difficult tasks and not to shy away from accepting responsibility and doing what's hard to do. All you need to do is to be yourself, to work really hard, to work really smart, and to be honest and transparent, and hold yourself and your team to the highest ethical standard. After a few years at IBM, 14 years as a matter of fact, I had a great career, really enjoyed every minute in IBM, and then I felt I was ready to come back to academia, and I ended up coming back to a State University of New York campus at Binghamton. And I left behind me all the protocols, everything I learned about how to succeed in industry, how to work with people. I left behind me friends and people that I trusted and that trusted me. But you know what? It didn't matter, because what I learned, these few principles that I talked to you about, work anywhere that you go. It works in academia and in industry and in government. All you have to do is true to yourself, to maintain high ethical standards, and to work as hard as you can, and work as smart as you can. So it is my hope that a few of you today will have heard this message and will apply it to your lives, and that would be the best gift I could possibly get from the class of 2017. Thank you. So our keynote speaker today is Chancellor Nancy Zimpher. Chancellor Zimpher is among the most in-demand thought leaders in higher education in the United States and around the globe. In 2009, she became the 12th Chancellor of the State University of New York. In over 40 years as an education professional, Chancellor Zimpher had attained international recognition for her visionary, institutional, and community leadership. And here at SUNY, she has elevated the university's public profile like no other chancellor before her, bringing SUNY to the nation's higher education center stage. Through creating visionary initiatives and innovative partnerships, both within the SUNY system and in government and the communities around the state, she has pushed to new heights SUNY's power as an economic engine and driver of a better quality of life for every New Yorker. She has spearheaded community initiatives that improve education outcomes from cradle to career. She's a state and national leader in setting new standards for teacher preparation, and she has developed initiatives that ensure student mobility and reduce student debt. These are extraordinary achievements over a career of exceptional public service. Earlier in her career, our Chancellor served as President of the University of Cincinnati and Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And here in New York, while she runs the largest comprehensive public education system in the nation, she has also been an active leader in numerous state and national education initiatives, including the Teach NY, strive together, the Board of Governors of the New York Academy of Sciences, the National Association of System Heads, CEOs for Cities, and the National Coalition of Urban Serving Universities. Chancellor Zimpher's work, both within the SUNY system and across sectors, has positioned the university to be not only the largest, but the best public university in the nation. It is now my honor and my pleasure to welcome Chancellor Zimpher to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I stand in the shoes of President Bhagat Samakia by saying, what a wonderful story told to us by Senator Schumer. We are so privileged to have him in New York as our leader and our champion in the Congress. And in his absence, let's just think about the appreciation for his work. I can tell you that I've often said over my years at SUNY, I really don't need to do commencements because we have the wonderful opportunity of leadership of the campus president, and I can count on Senator Schumer to come as well, and I don't think you need a chancellor of the system to get in the way. But I came here today, even though I typically defer on commencements, to thank the SUNY Polytechnic family and community for the wonderful work you are doing here. And I want to tell you about Bhagat Samakia. He is happy at Binghamton University. He is a faculty member, he is a researcher, he is a vice president for research, he is a partner to the work of that institution, but he came here because he believed in the great opportunity of SUNY Polytechnic. You only have him for a little while, but I know you appreciate the work he has done. I said I would publicly thank his president at Binghamton, Harvey Stenger, who gave him up for a while, and to thank you for all the support you are giving to President Bhagat Samakia. So I want you to thank him for his work. I also want to congratulate the distinguished members of the Platform Party whom you were introduced to, the families, parents, alumni of this great institution, and of course, the class of 2017. Congratulations. Now, I often describe my great good fortune to become the 12th Chancellor of the State University as sort of, what does the dog do when it catches the car? It's an old phrase, but you know, that dog chases and chases and chases from one faculty position to one presidency to another chancellorship, and finally arrives as the 12th Chancellor of the State University of New York, a little bit nonplussed. What in the world do you do with 64 campuses and 33,000 faculty members and 465,000 students? So I'm going to go back to a little story that got me from Cincinnati to the great state of New York. I could go back further, but we have had our personal stories. I'm going to lift up a story that someday will touch your heart, because someday you will perhaps select a partner. Maybe it won't happen to you what happened to Senator Schumer. You may get married, you may raise a family, you will live in a community. And this is a story about living in a community. Almost 10 years ago, I arrived at a midtown city, Cincinnati. You could see Albany or Syracuse or Rochester or Buffalo or Yonkers or a community in the Bronx or a community in Queens as looking much like my city. But I discovered one very early problem. While I was the president of a great public university, good friends with my colleagues in the private institutions in Cincinnati, and if you know your geography, I could also say northern Kentucky. But we had a problem. We were not getting enough students coming from our local high schools to our universities. And given that it was an urban setting, we were not recruiting a diverse population to our universities. So we had to do something about that. You might be surprised to know that even today, if you were to start with a class of 100 ninth graders, only about 75 of those ninth graders will graduate high school. And 3 months later, only about 58 of those 100 ninth graders will find their place in a college. And then shockingly, by the sophomore year in college, there will only be 38, and by the time they sit where you sit, only 1 in 5 of those ninth graders will get a college degree. And they are kids and young people that are going to be living in the communities where you live. So as a famous New York columnist said, education, educating people better, educating more people is simply the best bet any community can make. So we went to work, and there are 4 very great discoveries we made being good citizens in our community. And by the way, we didn't know we were making these discoveries till a couple of guys from Stanford rolled into Cincinnati and decided to write a case study about the work we were doing. They published their article in the Stanford Social Innovation Review, and they named what we were doing collective impact. If you could just remember, collective impact. It turns out that the secret sauce in solving the educational challenges of one Midwestern city dissolved into these 4 points. Number 1, and this is a theme that's going to sound familiar to my colleagues on the platform and the faculty in the front rows. We are better when the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. At SUNY, we call this systemness. Have you heard that word? We made it up. We put it on Wikipedia. It's still there today, and it simply means if you are leading 64 campuses, we are going to be more effective when we work together. You know how hard it is to get out of your box, out of your silo, and actually partner up with someone else? You do it here at SUNY Poly because you do it across departments, you do it across disciplines. Communities have to do it across the silos that live in communities. And I'm talking about chambers and school boards and university trustees and business leaders and philanthropic investors. The second thing we learned in Cincinnati that I think is true of SUNY today, we focused in on the problem. And the problem is that kids who are born into this country need to be ready for kindergarten, need to read on the 3rd grade, need to do math on 8th grade level, need to enter high school, graduate high school, enter college, graduate college, and move into a career. So that is an identification of our educational challenge, literally from cradle to career. 1, we figured out we have to work together, and 2, we figured out there are points of intervention that can literally change the course of history. We work a lot on access at SUNY, on completion, on career success, but we can never forget that those first 100 days, those first 1,000 days, the time between birth and entering kindergarten, and 3rd grade and 8th grade and high school are just as important as what we do in college. And then thirdly, and I think President Sabaki and I were talking on the edges of this morning, we need to unpack the educational opportunity, look at the data, and base our work on evidence. As scientists, you know this. Evidence. And what we've tried to do at SUNY is use what works and take what works to scale. So you are trained to look at evidence. You are trained to use data. And we are using it here, and we used it in Cincinnati to tackle a huge problem. Do not let your zip code be your educational destiny. We can change that. And then finally, if you work together, if our goals are targeted, if we use data and evidence, people will invest in our work and ultimately change the world. That work that began in Cincinnati, in one community that figured out how to work together, has now expanded to literally 72 communities across the globe, from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine, from Albany to Rochester to Queens to Harlem to Geneva to Plattsburgh, because people figured out working together, focusing on a problem, using data to solve that problem will drive investments that will change the world. All I want you to remember, when you go into the communities where you will live and work and raise your children, keep an eye on education, keep a clear head about how important it is to invest in education, and that too will change the world. Congratulations to the class of 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Zimpher, for your message to the class of 2017. And now I'm pleased to introduce the class of 2017 Student Association Secretary, David Abbott.
Thank you, Dr. Samakia. As everyone you speak to today will tell you, this is a day you will remember for the rest of your lives. And when you do, we hope that you look back with fond memories of SUNY Poly. It is my privilege today, as your 2016-17 Secretary and 2017-18 Vice President of the Student Government at Utica, to present the class gift on behalf of the SUNY Polytechnic Institute class of 2017. This year, there are not one, but two separate gifts the class of 2017 is giving to SUNY Poly. The first is a large donation toward a new Walter the Wildcat costume. Our mascot is one of the first things new freshmen see when they come to this campus for the first time. It is symbolic of the sense of school pride we have as members of the SUNY Poly community. This new costume will provide even more opportunities to unite the student body and build school spirit. Thanks to the class of 2017, this fall when the class of 2021 attends orientation, they will see a brand new Walter the Wildcat costume. When the Student Center was built in 2011, the engineers built a space for a time capsule that could be sealed and opened at a later date. No class has ever pursued this idea or carried it out, but I am proud to say that the class of 2017 is the class to purchase and fill not one, but two time capsules for the Student Center. One of these capsules will be opened in 10 years, while the other will be opened in 20 years. Students will be able to open these and take a look at some SUNY Poly history and things that happened on campus before their time here. The memories you have made during your experience will live on in these capsules, so we thank you for your contribution. Your legacy will live on through these two gifts. Your relentless generosity to the school has not gone unnoticed, and I would like to thank the Class Gift Committee of the Student Government at Utica for their pursuit on these gifts on behalf of the class of 2017. You all have done this school a great service, and it is my hope that you will come back in 10 years to watch the first time capsule be open. Thank you all, and on behalf of the Student Government at Utica, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. On behalf of the graduating students, it is my pleasure to present one of the gifts from the class of 2017 to President Samakia.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the class of 2017. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the President of the 2017 Student Association, Samantha Stewart.
Thank you, Dr. Samakia. To start, I would like to congratulate our class of 2017 on the successful completion of another academic year and the end of your learning experience here at SUNY Poly. You've all come so far throughout your college experience, and at this moment, I would like to recognize all of you for your accomplishments, because as we know, there are many, including academic award winners, projects, and athletic achievements. These have all shown how amazing you truly are, along with the growth you've embraced since first starting on campus and how far you will go in your future endeavors. You are leaving your mark on this institution with the kindness and compassion you have shown to everyone. I remember as a freshman looking up to this class not only as mentors but as leaders. These students, whether they knew it or not, helped to bring me out of my shell and become the person that I am today. You have all given so much to make sure that the incoming freshmen are treated with respect and kindness when arriving on campus, which can range from orientation to opening weekend to the student leaders, and to making sure that they are guided in the right direction and are encouraged to make smart choices, ones that will set them up for their future. Throughout your life, I want you to remember the 3 R's. The first is remembrance. You must always remember where you came from. The good, the bad, the unbelievable, and the unimaginable. All of these shaped you into who you are today. All the mistakes you have made, all the things that you've been through, never forget these moments, because they are the driving force for why you do anything that you do. You must also learn from your mistakes and be mindful of the past going forward. The second stands for resilience. When you applied to this institution, it was not the same as it is now. You came to this campus under the name of SUNY IT, but you will now leave as graduates of SUNY Poly. The resilience you have shown throughout these uncertain times is a testament to your character, and it has not gone unnoticed. But these are not the end of the hard times that you will face. We all must be resilient for the future and not let anything stand in the way between you and your ultimate goal. Any setback, any obstacle faced is just one more thing that will help prepare you for the success that you all deserve. The last R is reliability. In order to succeed in life, it's also a requirement that you are reliable. Reliability is a fundamental quality of a good employee, a good friend, and a good partner. It symbolizes that you value your word and that when you say you're going to do something, you make sure it gets done. This quality, if always carried through life, is one of the most important that people will see in you. These 3 things are just some of the keys that you will need to get you on your journey. The resilience to keep moving forward and never slow down, the wherewithal to remember where you have been, and the reliability to always keep your word. To quote Michael Jordan, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Samantha. It is now my pleasure to honor employees of SUNY Poly who have been singled out for extraordinary recognition by the Chancellor of the State University of New York. I would like to request Chancellor Zimpher to join me to present the honorees with their medallions. For more than 25 years, the Chancellor has annually acknowledged outstanding performance both in and out of the classroom by professionals across the university system through a program called the Chancellor's Awards for Excellence. These awards are given to recognize extraordinary professional achievement. I ask that our honorees in attendance come forward as their names are called. Tom Shula, for the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Classified Service. Brian Keith Taylor for the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Professional Service.
Congratulations, Brian. Good to see you again.
You will be challenged.
This tests the skills of a president.
Oh, I don't need the extra stress. It's not clicking.
It's not official until it clicks.
I know, I've been a challenge ever since I was there.
Yay, here we go.
Christopher Urban for the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching. And Christopher, I believe, was selected 5 times as Teacher of the Year award recipient by the students, so well deserved. The next recipient is James Castakane for the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Scholarship and Creative Activities. On behalf of the college community, I congratulate our recipients as they receive their medallions that will serve as a permanent recognition of their contributions and achievements. I would also like to recognize a member of the class of 2017. The prestigious President's Award is presented to a graduating student who has a distinguished academic record, has demonstrated leadership, and exhibits exceptional standards of moral character. And this year's recipient is no exception. We are talking about an outstanding student who has completed both a double major in computer science and psychology, along with a minor in applied mathematics, excelling at all three. While taking on an academic overload each semester, working as a resident assistant and as a tutor in the Learning Center, and still finding time to participate in student government. And yet, all that was not enough for him. If he had an interest outside of classes he had taken, he would audit the courses, not for credit, but just out of pure desire for knowledge. Whether in the classroom, on campus, or in the community, his contributions have been described as incisive, efficient, and respectful. A brilliant young man who is friendly, sincere, and an absolutely extraordinary student with a solid wide range of skills that is no doubt destined for great things. And we at SUNY Poly are truly grateful to be associated with him. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing this year's President's Award winner, VAB. By the way, my understanding is that VAB is going on for a PhD in SUNY Albany, and he is very interested in looking at artificial intelligence and consciousness. So I'm looking forward to his publications. Okay, so candidates for the degrees, the moment for which you have labored so long and awaited with great anticipation is at hand. I would like to request the Provost to assist in the conferral and presentation of degrees.
Will all the Master of Business Administration, Master of Science, and Certificate of Advanced Study degree candidates please rise? Mr. President, these candidates have satisfied, subject to verification, the requirements for their respective degrees. Upon recommendation of the faculty and the Graduate Council, I now present them to you for the conferring of degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the Graduate Council, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the College Council, the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, and by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer upon those of you who are found qualified the degree of Masters of Business Administration, the degree of Master of Science, and the Certificate of Advanced Study with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Candidates, please be seated. You'll be asked to come up to the stage according to your discipline.
Dr. Andrew Russell, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Mr. President, will the candidates for the following degree please rise? Master of Science with a major in Information Design and Technology. Candidates, please move forward to receive your degrees.
Daniel Vargas. Jared Stanley. Brian Brote. Daniel Akers. Danielle Griggs. Azra Kadich.
Dr. Robert Agel, Dean of the College of Business Management.
Mr. President, will the candidates for the following degrees please rise? Master of Business Administration with a major in Technology Management, Master of Science with a major in Accountancy. Candidates, please move forward to receive your degrees.
Rebecca Leanne Lasher. Shanda Galloway. Robert Beaumay. Janessa Herbick. Joy Ann Marie Fidd. Tanya Wendling. James Conti. Khalid Kaladuzaman. Christine Archer. Jordan Liverio. Nicholas Hall. Jason Rupert. Aphrodite Puris. Melissa Sportello. Shelby Farr. Amanda Bone. Kelly LaSalle. Melissa Prest.
Dr. Andrew Wolf, Dean of the College of Engineering.
Mr. President, will the candidates for the following degrees please rise? Master of Science with a major in Computer and Information Science. Master of Science with a major in Network and Computer Security. Master of Science with a major in Telecommunications. Candidates, please move forward to receive your degrees.
David Gomez. Jeremy Fields. Prasad Vunam. Dheeraj Kandapalli. Rupal Dilan. Dheeraj Mutnuri. Sandeep Vempati. Vijay Kumar Reddy Pasari. Sneha Bonthi. Akhileshwar Andapalli. Kia Odoy. Amrusha Katpalli. Ritesh Chandra Reddy Guna. Dhirad Babu Kaleru. Akshay Reddy Kotapalli. Sri Charan Reddy. Shailesh Yadav. Rukmini Goni. Prudvi Vahan Raj Ankus. Pramath Ramaraj. Krishna Venkadari. Murali Goli. Satish Polamuri. Mahesh Kumar Gatti. Amit Gunam. Aditya Gatap. Sai Kumar Kotaguri. Siva Ganta. Vijay Coletti. Anusha Aligapalli. Sai Corvi. Raja Ganguta.
Dr. Kathleen Rourke, Dean of the College of Health Sciences.
Mr. President, will the candidates from the following degrees please rise? Master of Science with a major in Family Nurse Practitioner, Master of Science with a major in Nursing Education, Certificate of Advanced Study in Family Nurse Practitioner, Certificate of Advanced Study in Nursing Education. Candidates, please move forward to receive your degrees.
Amanda Baker. Diane Thompson. Michelle Turchin. Catherine Wintill. Brittany Wintill. Ariana Jaruzzi. Brittany Husney. Kelsey Ruth Newberg. Michelle Morrison. Angela Siainen. Svetlana Petrovitz. Christina Valencia. Lashan Branoshevsky Burlingham. Josephine Slifka. Kathleen Anderson. Kaylee DeStito. Tuyen Nago. Aaron Murphy. Megan Hutchins. Katie Tafour. Karen Caniff. Corrine Reed. Renee Mador. Bakis Rejmi. Dorothy Simpson. Renee Pomato. Carly Sudfeld. Leslie Boyle. Randy Schrader. Jamie Conklin Larsh. Andrea Purcell. Beth Ruggiero. Adam Earl Mainville. Laura Klaus. Casey Schenk.
Will all the bachelor's degree candidates please rise? Mr. President, all of these candidates have satisfied, subject to confirmation, the requirements for their respective degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Professional Studies, Bachelor of Science. Upon recommendation of the faculty, I now present them to you for the conferring of the degree.
Upon recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the College Council, the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, and by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer upon those of you who are found qualified the respective degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Professional Studies, and Bachelor of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining hitherto. Congratulations. Dr. Andrew Russell, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Others can sit down if you wish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Candidates for the following degrees, please rise. Bachelor of Science with a major in Applied Mathematics. Bachelor of Science with a major in Biology. Bachelor of Science with a major in Communication and Information Design. Bachelor of Science with a major in Interactive Media and Game Design. Bachelor of Arts with a major in Interdisciplinary Studies. Bachelor of Arts with a major in Psychology. Bachelor of Arts with a major in Sociology. Candidates, please move forward to be honored.
Dylan Carl Bubb. Tristan Keith Danishevsky. Marissa Wishart. Vab, winner of the President's Medallion. Meredith Ann Blando. Christine Responti. Angela Marie Goodenough. Tatiana Kovalevich. Carly Johnson. Catherine Tejada. Brandy Bolton. Sarah Rose Murphy. Elizabeth Marie Rigler. Nicole Marie Sharuda. Rachel Ann Burkett. Nicole Sarah Williams. Danielle M. Witchley. Amanda M. Tucherone. Carmen M. Benedetto. Melissa Kroc. Ryan Letcher. Stevie Ray. Fatah Zalek. Fatima Janati. Luke Caton. Ruxaliana Kachuk. Cassandra Doink. Ethan Bubb. Jesse Menzies. Joseph Mann. John Noon. Shelby Costel. Jessica Seaman. Temitope Famotibe. Jada Simpson. Alexandria Dodge. Vanessa Harris. Shannon Tooley. Iru Ni. Kira Gregory. Antonelli Laura. Megan Tracy. Julia Omelko. John Kramer. Michael Spencer. William Norcus.
Dr. Robert Edgell, Dean of the College of Business Management.
Mr. President, will the candidates for the following degrees please rise? Bachelor of Science with a major in accounting, Bachelor of Business Administration with a Bachelor of Science with a major in Business Administration. Rise. Candidates, please move forward to be honored.
Nicholas Kavanaugh. Sokanti Daichia. Christopher Cleveland. Antonio DeLuco. Cassandra Fedor. Tamara Hillman. Sharon Martin. Mary Elizabeth Van Nostrand. Angie Kirk. Kristen Zimmer. Sanela Salemovich. Brianna Odell. Kathy Wakefield. Thank you. Michael Brown. Kayleen Campola. Jessica Benton. Sabina Putsarevich. Hannah Mahoney. Andre Chattel. Jamie Martin. Colleen Winchell. Audrey Pachura. Elijah Fay. Kyle Coyne. Emmanuel Uzel. Dante Rose. Joseph Casella. Raymond Smith. Nicholas Brennan. Christopher Nicotera. Francesco Tyne. Nicholas McBride. Keith Frazier. Carly Lynn Bartlett. Kayla Dutch. Taylor Evans. Robert Nilsson. Giuseppe Purpura. Malia Crum. Natalie Streifert. Angela Kathleen Bartlett. Aaron Van Drieser. Corinne Wilson. Sarah Smola. Jerica Paulson. Michael Schmidt. Ike Patel. Felix Perez. Ryan Berger. Marima Vase. Michael Alsdorf. Michael Flournoy. Christina Baum. Oleg Taraby. Brian Diskin. Patrick Slaga. Jordan Morgan. Jordan Kroback. Frank Ferrone. James Warner. Connor Critelli. Joshua Lewis. Elias Zina. John Bullis. Michael Aiello. William Dowsett.
Dr. Andrew Wolf, Dean of the College of Engineering.
Mr. President, candidates for the following degrees, please rise. Bachelor of Science with a major in Applied Computing. Bachelor of Science with a major in Computer Information Systems. Bachelor of Science with a major in Computer and Information Science. Bachelor of Science with a major in Network and Computer Security. Bachelor of Science with a major in Civil Engineering Technology. Bachelor of Science with a major in Computer Engineering Technology. Bachelor of Science with a major in Electrical Engineering Technologies. We're halfway through. Bachelor of Science with a major in Mechanical Engineering Technology. Bachelor of Science with a major in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Bachelor of Science with a major in Civil Engineering. And our first graduating class, Bachelor of Science with a major in Mechanical Engineering. Candidates, please move forward to be honored.
Anthony Barnes. And once again, Bab. Greg Burnell. Kay Reel. Sam Van Doff. Russell Stiles. Joshua Moy. James Luft. Brian Kowalczyk. Ryan Wegner. Elijah Frederick Nichols. Jeremy Torres. Renee Valentino Adames. Andrew Molell. Adam Sovakul. Leah Siegerlin. Matthew Robert Arnold. Philemon Hagos. Ismaila Ibrahim. David French. Daniel Gulino. Cody Franskevich. Paul Brissett. Logan Reed. Harumoto Takahira. Charles Probeck. Camden Spiewak. Andres Carrion. Alex Steinelberg. Dylan Straffolino. Joseph Byer. Dylan Jones. Ryan Canali. David McCann. Amanda Jackson. John Gleason. Christopher Masajic. Anthony DiVaccaro. Daniel R. Wheeler Jr. Dean Anderson. Kathy Wright. Karen Bowe. Garrett Musto. Andrew Archambault. Jordan Wagner. Luke Winters.
Congratulations.
Parvani Prasad. Bernard Joseph Lennon V.
Congratulations.
Tyler Harris. Robert DeAndre. Joseph Helsabosh.
Congratulations.
Luigi Mastriani.
Congratulations.
Martine Rodriguez. Java Q. Justine Imondo.
Congratulations.
Garrett Krenel.
Congratulations.
Christian Rothrock. Ian Roach. Eric Cuskar. Zachariah Barthen. Nikolai Murphy. Cassidy Rout. Zachary Champeau.
Congratulations. Thank you.
John Medeski. Jeffrey Eckert. Nicholas Kavalovich. Christopher Johnson. Shaquille Barrett. Kenneth Favreau. Christoph Taylor. Jalen Pistillo.
Congratulations.
Tamundo Dwabo. Kafumba Dumbia. Craig Joseph Clark.
Congratulations.
Kevin Kalumba Maguya. Stephen Maxwell.
Congratulations.
Ryan Mustaine.
Congratulations.
Matthew Alexander Riddell. Joel Kimber. Matthew Tebow. Nathan Van Dyke. Samuel Stetcher. John Dalton Humph. Stephen Smith. Austin Benincasa. Joseph Novotny. Joshua Edwin Williamson. Daniel D. Kaiser. Richard Romero. Tyler McCumber. John William Happel. Shannon N. Brown. Ong Joao Mint. Jerry Stewart. Alexander William Hellenick. Cameron Gums. Joshua Ortiz. Joseph A. Serrano. Logan A. Pacelli. Brandon Thomas Isola. DeAndre A. Walters. Isaiah Lee Harris. Tyler Plows. Kirk Ebuna. Jesse Schuttinger. Clifford Perucci. Justin Fernald. Morgan Birdie. Pierre Percy. Taylor Chen. Darren Pirelli. Alfredo Berenger. Joseph Tortoriello. Harley Ostrander. Jacob Pullis. Matthew Melenda. Antu Das. Ruslan Brutsky. Vincent Hand. Oleg Varenich. Daniel Bellick. Nicholas Mayer. Joel Ferrigno. Kyle Hendershot. Cordell Stafford. Julio E. Rancone. Kirsten Albertson. Brian Fields. Jeremy Hoos. Michael Kane. Colton Roberts. Trevor Finney. Edward Craven. Robert Cisak. Joseph Tranquina. Michael Layton. Evan Merrill. Johnny Mazzini. Thomas Lucas. Gage Harnacker. Daniel Nelson. Trevor Young. Ryan Gifford. Michael Ferrucci. Kevin O'Neill. Seth Popo. Nabaruta Sarahungu. Jeremiah Juma. Justin Deschamps. Christopher White. David Fresney. Nicholas LeBowden. Alexander Ani. Justin Melnitsky. Tyler Eisgruber. Rebecca Sheely, winner of the Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence. Joshua Makas. Ryan McHugh. Timothy Hughes. John Hall. Nicholas Hagan. Christopher Downs. Alan Davids. Camille Axness. Joseph Acey. Mushfika Rahman. Britton Medley. Alan Street. Sean Furman. Benjamin Weiss. David Diaz. Nicola Lapiana. Joseph Meikle.
Dr. Kathleen Rourke, Dean of the College of Health Sciences.
Okay, we'll just use this one. Before I call the candidates from the College of Health Sciences, I'd like to announce that today is National Nurses Day. And the candidates that will be coming before you, these young nurses are going to be, and we have advanced practice nurses, will be dedicating their lives to taking care of those in need. The men and women that will be accepting their degrees today will be dedicating their lives to be helping all of you and people around the world. So let me get another round of applause for the nurses in this room and around the world. Mr. President, will the candidates from the following degrees please rise? Bachelor of Professional Studies and Bachelor of Science with a major in Health Information Management, Bachelor of Science with a major in Community and Behavioral Health, Bachelor of Science with a major in Nursing. Rise. Candidates, please move forward to be honored.
Renee Mador. Kelson Haberlack. Emma Larson. Rachel Grisham. Rachel Ellsworth. Sarah Gayfield. Svetlana Petrovitz. Heather Van Noort. Megan Emery. Jonathan Weaver. Sarah Simpson. Nicole Vitelli. Emily Difflow. Rohan Banton. Gina Carcone. Tracy Haynes. Anthony Nugent. Tamara Pape. Francis Powers. Jerry Lynch. Sydney Putnam. Elise Valeriano. Dean Gaylord. Hannah Kristoff. Nicole DiPiazza. Hannah Burleson. Anita Scarina. Liana Matev. Emily Lee. Shauna Lee. Shannon Lee. Kimberly Valentine. Alita Hine. Lucia Loperfida. Samantha Tift. Julianne Britt. YZ Lynn. Julian Mowat. Mark DePerna.
Come on, last. Congratulations. Thank you.
Please welcome noted alumna, Ms. Lynn Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today marks the completion of your studies and your start as a new degree holder. It is our hope that you will always be proud of SUNY Poly, just as we are proud of you, and that you carry the name of this institution with you as you find success in the future. As students, you had the opportunity to shape the direction of SUNY Poly through the Student Association. As graduates, you can build on the SUNY Poly legacy through the Alumni Association. We hope you will become involved in the Alumni Association as it addresses alumni needs and helps shape SUNY Poly in the years ahead. Will all graduates please rise? Okay. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I congratulate you on the completion of your courses and for receiving the degrees which you have earned. It is my privilege and honor to lead you in a tangible gesture that symbolizes your passage from the status of students to that of graduates and alumni. At this time, will you all move the tassel on your cap from the right side to the left? Congratulations.
At the conclusion of our ceremony, you are all cordially invited to a reception in the Student Center. Please stand for the benediction, which will be offered by the Reverend Drobin.
Thank you again. Let us pray. Dear God, we are so grateful. We are grateful for all of our graduates, for who they are and what they've accomplished, and yes, their aspirations yet to come. We are grateful for their and our families, where we learn to live, to love, and to hope. And yes, we are especially grateful for our SUNY Polytech community, where we learn to discover, to grow, and yes, to accomplish. We pray for our world, for the communities in which we live, the country we serve, and the world of which we are a part. We ask your special care for those who are in harm's way, those who serve most diligently in the military, and yes, today on Nurses Day, all of our nurses who continue to care. As we go forth today, may we continue to care, to hope, and to serve, so that we may better our world, serve others, appreciate our school, our families, and yes, ourselves, and so give honor and glory to you, our God, this day and forevermore. Amen. May God bless you.
I now declare the 2017 commencement of the State University of New York Polytechnic Institute concluded. Will guests please remain at their seats until the processional is complete? And once again, congratulations, graduates.